Sending Ravens. Hello there. Welcome back to Sending Ravens. Let's see what our day's bringing today. See what we got. Hierophant, much misunderstood card. Knight of Cups, and the King of Swords. Oh boy. So the Hierophant, the Knight of Cups, and the King of Swords. And the Hierophant was first, so I always give a little more weight to the first card pull. Okay, and then I talk about it in the context of the Knight of Cups. And I usually add the King of Swords as an advice card. Okay, like the third card pull, that's usually my advice. Just it doesn't have as much clout as the other two, but it helps us understand how to read the other two. Okay, yeah, we call it, I call it anyway, how things aspect. Especially the first two cards pull, they got the more clout. Okay, so here we've got the Hierophant. So first card pull. The Hierophant can talk about a really busy and manifesting or trying to manifest or arrange. It's almost like there's a bit of like I want to say management. I'm going to say management. When you have the Hierophant, sometimes the Hierophant's very extremely busy, has a lot on their plate. Archetypally, they can be a little bit sticky and stickler for details, really like things their way, and even be a little bossy. Okay, and the Hierophant, when it's well aspected, it's a very spiritual and highly it's somewhat of a teacher, even a spiritual teacher. But when it's badly aspected, it can even go the way of preaching and evangelical preaching. And I'm sorry to step on anyone's toes who is okay with that sort of preaching. But I'm kind of not okay with that because that feels too preachy to me, right? So the thing about the Hierophant is it believes in its own ability to really understand what's right and what's wrong, right? The Hierophant, and sometimes that's a slippery slope because then they start to think they know what's best for everybody else. And that's why they're wearing this outfit or dressed like a pope, okay? Because maybe they're, if they're badly aspected, now they're being a bossy boots, trying to organize and manage everybody, okay? But if they're well aspected, that's a good thing, right? Yeah, if they're well aspected, then they're using their power in a good way. But this card can abuse power, okay? It can also shut things down, okay? And slam things down and make you follow the rules. Okay, yeah. So the Hierophant next to the Knight of Cups. So the Hierophant next to, now the Knight of Cups doesn't badly aspect it, but it does, it's kind of neutral. It's not fantastic, but it's not a bad aspecting card either. I call it a neutral card. Okay, so the Knight of Cups, or the Hierophant. Hierophant, so you're very busy, you're trying to manage all these things, it feels like. And it feels like you're very determined to do things that come from your heart or follow your heart with things. So with the Hierophant, okay, so you got all these things to do, but you're really wanting to come from your heart on all these things, okay? It's not always possible to do that when you're this busy. Like I feel like you might need to really detach here and think about what needs to get done. Try to put your heart in as much of it as you can, but at the same time, use your head in a way. This guy uses his head, the King of Swords. He's very fair, but he uses his head, and he's very, in a way, he's very intellectually strategic. Okay, so I feel like you want to follow your heart on this really busy day with so many things. You're trying to do so many things. You're trying to put your heart into all those activities. But I feel like you may have to really make lists or make a list today. This guy uses his intellect and even compartmentalizes things. So he's quite different than the King of Cups, right? The King of Swords is a little bit detached and he isn't so much in his feelings and he's more in his head. I feel like use a little bit of your intellect today. You can't do everything straight from your heart, even though you wish to. It's something you're trying to do. It's almost like you are so determined here to put your heart into everything, but it could be overwhelming. Okay, so back it up a little, make a list of things that are the most important that you could get done realistically. Okay, be realistic. I feel like with that King of Swords, it's saying be realistic about what you can accomplish today. And of course, you'll put as much of your heart into it as you can, but don't be too hard on yourself if you can't 100% put your heart into every single thing you're doing today. Okay, I hope that spoke to somebody today, and have an awesome rest of your day. Please do like and share the videos and subscribe if you haven't already.